Me big, me scary, me bugbear. Bugbears. What's a bugbear? A bugbear is a 7 foot tall goblin with rippling muscles and is covered in hair. Um, they're typically smarter than goblins, not necessarily as smart as a hobgoblin, but they can be. There's a wide range of how intelligent bugbears can be. They're yellowish, brownish in skin tones, and they have a brackish, brownish kind of fur that covers them. They're noted for having very kind of floppy ears, as you saw in the picture. Oftentimes they'll have piercings and things like that. Very flat, grinchy kind of looking faces. And very monstrous, kind of wild looking eyes. One of the cool things about bugbears, as far as like how they are concerned anatomically, is that their skin is very almost magical in the sense that they don't make a whole lot of noise, and this lends itself well to surprise attacks. And I think this is universal in almost every edition, that they're very tough to detect. They are very hardy as well. They typically will have 3 times the amount of hit points as a hobgoblin. These guys are very tough, and it shows. They're usually meant for a little bit later encounters. A typical searching or ambush party will have 2 to 8 bugbears, and they're very keen at tracking down their prey. They have very good sense of smell, sight, hearing. It allows for them to track prey very well. So the language of bugbears, as you heard right away, is kind of guttural, very caveman-y like almost. Lots of gestures and grunts and points, and it doesn't lend well to them sounding intelligent, but they are. Their language makes them sound a lot dumber than they actually are. Most of the bugbears can speak languages of goblins and hobgoblins. A lot of bugbears don't speak orc or any fancy thing like that, like some hobgoblins and goblins might. Whenever possible, as far as combat is concerned, like I said, they want to ambush people. And you can bet that their attack's going to be tactically sound. So if they don't think they can take somebody, they're going to go ahead and they're going to walk forward and leave, grab some reinforcements, come back. They're going to do that. That's bugbears. That's bugbears in general. But when they do attack, you can bet that they're going to hurl their small weapons, hammers, maces, spears, before charging in on people. They're going to try to get damage in on people, maybe get a lucky knockout shot or something, before they even come in and attack people. If they think they're outnumbered and overmatched, they'll retreat. Bugbears are not proud. Like, they are more about survival. That's one of their 2 big things, survival and treasure. So let's talk about why they live where they live and where do they live. They live in caves and underground locations. A lot of times it's either one big communal cave area or a lot of smaller caves that are connected. And they're well adapted to the life. They operate equally well in light and dark. So they don't take the negatives that goblins do for bright light. So they can attack during the day or nighttime, which is really good for a DM because you can use them to spice up normal goblin encounters. Maybe the goblins are forced to attack during the day or things like that. They give a lot of reason to different things. They survive primarily by hunting. They have no compunctions, though, about eating anything. They'll eat carrion and everything. They'll literally just munch on anything they can find. They're almost like spiders in a sense because they are opportunistic predators. They'll just sit where they are and be content and wait for people to come in. Wait for adventurers to come through. Wait for smaller races to come through, and they'll attack them. And that's the majority of their food and treasure, just comes from essentially trickling opportunistic attacks. And they're not above taking slaves. It's not common, but they will take slaves if they have enough food or whatever. They're extremely greedy. They love glittery, shiny objects. They love weapons, especially weapons they haven't seen before. They're always on the lookout to increase their hordes. So if you're going to find a bugbear, as a DM, typically what you're going to do is you're going to use them in dungeons or in well-traveled areas of wilderness. And they're going to be ambushing and opportunistic. Like I said, almost all of their resources come from preying on... They're almost like bandits. They're a race of bandits, if you will. And as a DM, you can use them in charge of goblins, let's say. So if you have a bunch of goblins that actually have a fairly well-organized attack, you can bet that there's a bugbear behind it. Or maybe a tribe of bugbears behind it, depending upon. So that's something that you can do with bugbears. They're kind of one of the least used, I would say, of all the goblinoids. But I feel that they definitely have a place in a lot of campaigns. One other cool thing to note before we go on this, though, elvish boots of sneaking or boots of silence and things like that are made from bugbear skin. And so sages have theorized that bugbear skin itself is what allows them to be so sneaky and silent. But I'm Javen Baker, and this has been part of the series on D&D lore. This has been Goblinoids. Hope you enjoy. Like, comment, and subscribe.